past as well. Exit polls predict a Congress flop show again. Has it ended up damaging AAP? BJP says it is confident of forming the government in Delhi after 27 years.
आपदा वालों को भगाना है। इस बार भाजपा सरकार बनाना है।
आपदा दिल्ली में नहीं आई, आपदा भाजपा में आई।
जो बेईमान होता है वही अपने आप को सर्टिफिकेट देता है।
Welcome back, and this is Poll of Polls, and I am Kartikeya Sharma.
Thanks very much. Nabila Jamal here, and we're decoding for you what the exit poll survey really says. At this point, out of the 8, 5 of them or 6 of them giving a clean sweep to the BJP, and 2 of them a clean sweep to AAP. So
And this is the
Kartikeya breaks
exit
it
poll.
down. Yeah.
This is the exit poll. Beatrice, JVC, PMark, People's Pulse. We preside in Poll of Polls. You know, if I look at this exit poll, AAP in first, second, third, fourth, fifth exit poll is getting 35, 26, 26, 15 and 49. And Bharatiya Janata Party is getting 37, 43, 45, 56 and 21. And Congress Party is getting 1, 2, 0, 0, 0. So, if you look at the end result in the poll of polls, Aam Aadmi Party is 30 and Bharatiya Janata Party is 40. And I think it's inconsequential, you know, whether it's 1 or 2. It really depends on, you know, how much vote share they got, which seats they have won. Will it have a sort of a credible impact on, you know, the morale of the workers of the Congress Party? But the big picture is, for the first time, BJP seems to be winning. There are a couple of polls which are showing that Aam Aadmi Party is winning. I have to put this on record. I have to put this on record that there are polls, majority of them saying that the Bharatiya Janata Party is going to win. But a couple of them are also saying that Aam Aadmi Party is going to win. Now, I am joined by Neoma Gupta, spokesperson Bharatiya Janata Party. Mr. Badal will be joining me, spokesperson Aam Aadmi Party. Xavier Rodriguez joins me, KG Suresh, Ajit Kejha, KV Prasad and Brijesh Pandey. Now, my question, which is to Ajit, is fundamentally rooted in the way our politics has changed and the way elections are being reflected through them in context of the result. My question to you, sir, is that Bharatiya Janata Party used to be called Brahmar Baniya Party, and a party of urban areas. Congress was the party of national interest, shahadat, martyrdom. If you look at the body language of the Prime Minister, because he said this is in the nation's interest, even in Lok Sabha during the budget he said this is in the nation's interest. हमने शीश महल नहीं बनाया, इस पैसे से हमने देश को बनाया. That's what Modi said. Why has this shift taken place that the BJP has become a party of a larger national interest and Congress has become a party of social justice, a space that was occupied by the socialists of erstwhile 60s and 70s? Do you think that the results which are coming off from Maharashtra, Haryana, Delhi is reflection of the larger contour shift in Indian politics?
First, Kartikeya, let me correct you. In Delhi, the BJP was never a Brahman Baniya party.
But nationally?
No, I'm saying within Delhi Assembly, if you look at the history, you showed it in the beginning, the Bhajpa built on the refugees that came
Punjabis,
from
yes.
Pakistan and areas like that, right? So at one time, it was the Congress which was the elite party, the Bhajpa was the party which of these refugees, right? In between, the Congress did a phenomenal job in Delhi and Sheila Dikshit won several times. But I think the shift came along with 2014. 2014, the Bhajpa started on a completely different wicket, 2.0. We saw the surge in the Lok Sabha. We saw several key, state assembly elections that they won. The picture in Delhi, come back to Delhi. In Delhi, the BJP has promised the same welfare programs, which was the strength of Kejriwal. With the entire liquor scam, the the entire image of Kejriwal has been questioned. He was incarcerated for 5 months. And the truth is, even if the ED doesn't have evidence, people believe there was a scam. A lot of people you talk to, they'll say, yes, the money went to Goa assembly election. And third point, finally, the BJP has kind of shown that if the BJP argued for change and it said, if there is a double incumbency government, both at the center and in the state, this fight that you see in the media between the Lieutenant Governor and Chief Minister won't take place.
But there's also
and therefore the development of Delhi will be much,
but there's
much
also
better.
one more thing. You know, the issue of governance. Anyone who has gone through the way, the politics of what you call the sloganeering, Congress used to say, इनके दियों में तेल नहीं, शासन करना कोई खेल नहीं. ये जनसन के बारे में बोला जाता था. And suddenly, the same language is being deployed by Bharatiya Janata Party against Congress and all regional parties saying इनको तो they don't know how to govern. I want to say, look at the way the language
Delhi is slightly different. How Delhi is different is because, they went to Supreme Court. If you remember, there was a constitution bench delivered a historic verdict by saying that, Babus have to report to the chief ministers and it's not going to be one-way traffic. Otherwise, why are we having election for? This was countermanded by, an amendment which was brought by the government, which is again being challenged. And it is there in the apex court. So I think, when if the BJP uses the same line with Bharatiya Janata, with the Aam Aadmi Party in Delhi, it is not the fit example. Because here, the LG is the numero uno. So, you may criticize Arvind Kejriwal for lack of governance, but we also have to understand that when it comes to secretaries, when it comes to transfer posting, all of these power vests with LG and not with the chief minister. So, here we have to also understand that a fair share of blame game has to be also apportioned to the doorstep of the LG rather than all of it at the doorstep of Arvind Kejriwal.
No, but whatever said the common, that message will not trickle down to the common man,
Yeah, because the
common man,
till now it has,
we voted for AAP. AAP is not cleaning Yamuna. Chhat Puja was not, they couldn't carry out Chhat Puja in peace. So that curse, in fact, the ladies have said we curse Arvind Kejriwal. Because we couldn't do our Chhat Puja here, and religious sentiments are very strong.
They are.
The
only thing I would say, Nabila, is that on 8th, we may see a completely different picture, and Arvind Kejriwal losing the plot and all.
Sure.
But till now,
numbers are
people
correct,
have believed Aam Aadmi Party more than they have believed BJP.
If these numbers are correct,
that's a disclaimer. Nobody calling out elections.
No, I'm just saying.
If these numbers are correct, people only vote for change. So obviously, 10 saal ho gaya Kejriwal. People are voting for change if these numbers are correct.
But to respond to the larger question raised by Karthikeya, I think that there is a very clear-cut ideological vacuum so far as the Congress is concerned. And largely it is tilting towards the left ideology, which has lost relevance in the country. Politically they have been marginalized to Kerala. Even in West Bengal, which was their forte, they have lost it out. Now what is happening? Congress, which epitomized inclusivity, which it was considered, the Brahmins and the Dalits were once upon a time with the Congress.
That's right.
From there, it has shifted to a position where the Prime Minister of the country in his second term, the UPA Prime Minister, says that, the minorities have the first right over the nation's resources. Then it talks about casteism. Even in, Miss India, contest, they say that there should be reservation. Now this has certainly antagonized the mainstream communities, and secondly, the Prime Minister himself has not only, I would say, democratized, in terms of himself being an OBC and giving a larger representation to OBCs and Dalits in Parliament, but even, please remember that it was the Prime Minister, an OBC, who consecrated Lord Rama's, idol at Ayodhya. Now that is a big shift. He has taken Hindutva from an elite to the larger segments of the society.
Correct.
So this has to be understood.
How much of an effect and impact do you think, Brijesh, that Prime Minister Modi's visit to Triveni Sangam?
Well, I think,
today a very interesting day, he decided to go take a...
If I take a leaf of what you said, that, that the women who are cursing Arvind Kejriwal for Yamuna, I think it will further consolidate that feeling of hatred against this. There are many who are saying that, it was impromptu and not planned. See, Prime Minister doesn't do anything unplanned.
Absolutely.
And, with him having a dip in, let's be clear, I've been covering BJP for a very long time now. there's nothing unplanned. And so when a Prime Minister taking that dip, we also have to remember that there's election not only in Delhi, there's a by-election which is in Milkipur. The biggest loss of face for BJP in 2024 was losing Ayodhya, where there was a massive consecration of Lord Ram, the Pran Pratishtha of temple, and BJP losing that seat. Now in that Ayodhya Lok Sabha, there is a Milkipur constituency which got vacant because of the MLA becoming the MP now, Avdesh Pasi. That election is also very, very important for the BJP to win, to show that 2024 was an aberration and not the norm. And that is the reason why what Prime Minister did in Mahakumbh today will find a lot. Absolutely, absolutely.
Very good point.
And you also have to also understand the question, if I can just have a minute. Like Karthikeya was saying that BJP is a Brahman Banya party. B was for Brahman, B for was Banya. But 2014, what it saw was the OBCization of the BJP.
Yes.
And it happened in a huge way. All of a sudden, the Brahmins and the Banyas, which are calling shots in Uttar Pradesh and various other states, they themselves find marginalized as much as they can. Now, you talk to anybody in Uttar Pradesh who is a Brahmin or an upper caste leader, he will immediately confess to you the shrinking maneuvering space they have as far as running the affairs of the party is concerned. The Prime Minister hitched his wagon to the fact that, these are like what Rahul Gandhi is trying to do, but unfortunately he is not succeeding, is that, the bigger number, the largest share of the pie is something where you have to align your politics to if you want to keep on in cashing the dividend.
Absolutely. In fact, I concur with you. There was a paper which was submitted to Mr. Gandhi. He came under tremendous attack in 2009 and 10. I think it was Mohan Gopal who said that unless and until the shift is made by the Congress party, it will become irrelevant. Let me just introduce Bobby Badal, spokesperson Aam Aadmi Party, and Neoma Gupta, spokesperson Bharatiya Janata Party. I'll go to Neoma first and to Bobby Badal. We have got the poll of polls. It's there right in front of you. I think 4 or 5 have gone for the Bharatiya Janata Party and 2 have gone for the Aam Aadmi Party. First your comments, Neoma, and then to Mr. Badal.
Good evening. Thank you again for having me on your debates. And the 4 to 5 exit polls are absolutely right. The other 2 are wrong. Okay. And for me, personally speaking, and speaking on behalf of BJP, this election was not about Mr. Arvind Kejriwal. It was about how Delhi's infrastructure has collapsed in the last decade, despite their elected government having a brute majority in the capital. See, the Yamuna is filthy, despite them spending n number of crores. The roads, I hear, like one of the worst. They force children who don't score well to drop out just to inflate their school performances. They orchestrated the beating of a Rajya Sabha MP in the premises of the CM. There is no amenity in Delhi which is noteworthy. We are living in the capital of the country. You've been in power, for 10 years in a row, and you failed in supplying the basic amenities, and then you come and say, listen, I'm apologetic because the Yamuna is not clean. Why do you in your manifesto literally promise the sun, moon and earth and then say, oh, we were not allowed to do the needful? Either you give a pre-rider or like a hyphen that we will do this if this happens. People of Delhi are very informed people and they're very emotionally correct people, and they've seen through all these lies. Every time you talk about Sheesh Mahal, there's no answerability. You talk about the Liquorgate scam, there's no answerability. All they do is deflect, blame game the BJP all the time. And most importantly, which is very, very pivotal for me, is announcing schemes like the Pujaris and the Granthi schemes. You announced it at the nth minute just before the elections. Why didn't you take care of them all these 10 years while you were in government for 10 years? So you are creating these new religious divides. To go to a level of saying that Haryana government is doing genocide against the people in Delhi. What a harsh statement is that. So what I'm trying to say is people are frustrated with this, and today their voice of reason is coming through. So for me, this debate literally comes down to the basics. Nobody is going to keep breathing in pollution and hearing the same jargon again and again. Okay. So this is the voice of reason.
Just let me take a reaction from Bobby Badal. And I have a question to you. Going by the data, do you think that there is a split in some of the stronghold votes like minorities?
Is that for me?
No, this is for Mr. Badal, the AAP spokesperson.
Thank you, sir. Can you hear me? Is my voice audible?
Yes. Absolutely.
Okay. So whatever I just heard from Madam, the BJP spokesman lady, so I just want to tell you that I agree with just one thing, and that is that the Delhi voter is really smart. and that is, there are no two ways about it. So let me tell you one thing. Look at the anti-incumbency, which is zero. After 10 years, still all your exit polls, and I take these exit polls with a pinch of salt, because I have seen how Delhi elections were fought, how votes were eliminated, how fuzzy votes were added, and let me tell you once and for all, Mr. Amit Shah had to come down, Mr. Modi had to come down to Delhi. And where is the Delhi BJP leaders? I don't think so that anybody has the standing to match Arvind Kejriwal. They could not even name the CM face of Delhi. So let me tell you, the Delhi police conduct was absolutely shameful, and the way this election was fought, if I were in the BJP, I would not be proud of this election. I would be really sorry that this is how my party has behaved. So I will tell you one thing, if one painting, I can just imagine one painting, that is when Abhimanyu was surrounded by all the enemies, and which were all big guys, and this is how BJP has used Sam, Dam, Dand, Bhed, and they have
Only Abhimanyu का शब्द इस्तेमाल करके I mean to say, I have to jump in. If you are using the word Abhimanyu, you are conceding defeat.
Yeah.
No, I am using the word
आपने बोला अभिमन्यु की तरह. Abhimanyu never made out of the Chakravyuh.
But he fought valiantly.
So are you saying Kejriwal fought brilliantly, sir?
I am saying that Kejriwal not only fought brilliantly and valiantly, but I am also saying that he will make it out of the Chakravyuh. But the only example I can relate how our CMs of Punjab, his home was raided, official home, and how Atishi ji, a case was slapped against her, a FIR was registered. Did the election commission not see any BJP leader? That was there no BJP leader whose misconduct the election commission saw? So I just want to tell you that this election BJP has really took the bar down. This election they have tried everything, and still the exit polls, which I am saying, most of them were made in Amit Shah ji's house. So most of them we don't believe. So I will tell
you. But Babby Badal, as much as you'd say BJP is firing at you and carrying out vindictive politics. Just a moment. Your own party MP Swati Maliwal has been firing salvos at you. Do you believe that has been detrimental to the party, or are you really, staying clear of any association with Swati Maliwal?
Look, ma'am, we just made Swati Maliwal. We gave her everything. But I am sorry to say, because of clash of egos, it was basically a clash of egos. And now Swati ji is no longer, I think she is practically a part of the BJP. So she has done everything which a BJP leader would have done.
Can I just come in at this point?
Yes, please respond. Then we have to go to...
Actually what happens is, his name is Mr. Bobby?
No, Babby Badal.
Babby, Mr. Badal, just to tell you, every time AAP is pushed against the wall, the immediate reaction is they start blaming everything around it. And you've already, in the onset of your debate, you've accepted by calling him Abhimanyu, and you were talking about him in past tense as the chief minister. When it came to the Liquorgate scam, sir, instead of addressing the evidence, they claimed it was BJP-led political conspiracy. Am I right? When it came to Sheesh Mahal, not once did they deny any of the charges. In fact, they completely diverted. Water crisis, accepted zero responsibility, diverted the blame to Haryana for stopping water deliberately. Again, they accused the LG, sir. And their DJP being in massive debt and Delhi sewer pipelines, nothing mattered. When it came to Punjab Rajya Sabha in 2024, when infighting in AAP Punjab over Rajya Sabha nominations exported the divide in the party, they accused BJP trying to destabilize the government then. The truth is that AAP is a complete failure externally and internally. Sir, I can ask you a simple question. You decided to join hands with the Congress, correct, to fight the BJP. Am I right or am I wrong? Then you come and break up with them. I'm unable to understand the situationship you are with the Congress, because on one hand, you are now constantly abusing them. In fact, it was them who initiated the Liquorgate scam against you, but then you join hands. So there's an ideological drift in the way you had started to where you have reached. In fact, may I tell you, Mr. Kejriwal was one of the first people when he started his political career, may I use, that he said that I will not go into the VIP syndrome. I will not take a house. I will not take a car. He has gone against the fulcrum matrix of all the commitments he made. And that is what the Delhi people are seeing through. So please I rest my case on just his own karma creating his future.
All right, let me get in more AAP reaction. Somnath Bharati of the AAP has spoken. Let's hear it.
एग्जिट पोल्स क्या होता है, कैसे होता है, कितने की विश्वसनीयता है, इस बार से अंदाजा लगाइए कि पिछली बार कुछ चैनलों ने दे दिया था कि भाजपा 62 सीट, आम आदमी पार्टी 8 सीट, उससे एग्जैक्ट उल्टा हुआ था। तो एग्जिट पोल्स अभी भी जो आ रहे हैं, कई सारे एग्जिट पोल्स दिखा रहे हैं कि जी आम आदमी पार्टी सरकार बना रही है, भाजपा विपक्ष है, और कई दिखा रहे हैं कि जी भाजपा सरकार बना रही है, आम आदमी पार्टी विपक्ष है, कांग्रेस तो जीरो है। जो कॉमन सब में है वो है कांग्रेस जीरो। मुझे लगता है कि हमें वेट करना चाहिए, क्योंकि मैं भी ग्राउंड पे ही था। ग्राउंड के रियलिटी के अनुसार आम आदमी पार्टी बहुमत से सरकार बनाएगी, और कोई बड़ी बात नहीं अगर पिछला रिकॉर्ड भी तोड़ दे।
All right, quickly pulling in Savio on this. Savio, from of course, AAP is showing confidence. Most of their reactions are dissing the exit polls entirely. But given the numbers that we have of the majority of the exit polls, and if believed to be true, do you believe AAP was just left firefighting after multiple of their leaders went to prison, the Sheesh Mahal issue, allegations of corruption against a party that was born out of an anti-corruption protest or a campaign that was. AAP, instead of focusing on the people's issues, were focusing on getting themselves out of trouble.
You know, I was somebody who very strongly believed in the India against corruption, like many other people across India. And what we didn't realize, you know, that the so-called Arvind Kejriwal of integrity, credibility, an anti-corruption warrior was actually turning out to be a charlatan and somebody who's taking the people of this country for a ride. But having said that, there were certain people within Delhi and in Punjab that actually believed in the policies or in the politics of the Aam Aadmi Party. And those are people you will always find in all countries. You will always find people who think differently, who think anti-BJP, and who would think anti-Congress or anti any other political party and support a party that they think is anti towards that establishment at that point of time. But the real problem for the Aam Aadmi Party is stemming from the fact that that aspirational aspect of the Aam Aadmi Party that existed when they came onto the scene and did extremely well when they got the brute majority does not exist at this point of time. They are no longer going to get a brute majority. They're definitely going to fall down as far as the voter percentage is concerned. And this is not going to benefit the Congress. It is going to benefit the BJP. But the other important thing comes back to the question when you look at the exit polls is what is the national impact of the Delhi elections and really what is going to be the India Alliance future. I can tell you quite openly that the India Alliance without the Congress has a future rather than India Alliance with the Congress, because the Congress has performed horribly in the Lok Sabha elections. It's performed horribly and will perform horribly in Delhi as well. So political parties like the Aam Aadmi Party, the TMC, the Samajwadi Party, the DMK and Shiv Sena, Uddhav Thackeray faction will now certainly realize that they do not necessarily need the Congress anymore, and they will try and see whether they can group together and isolate the Congress. Ideally, in the fight between Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP,
the Congress was the only largest opposition.
Having said that, the Congress was the largest opposition because they came together, right? Now they are realizing that maybe they don't need use the other oppositions to benefit the Congress. Otherwise, why did Aam Aadmi Party not fight with the Congress in Haryana? Why did Aam Aadmi not fight with the, work with the Congress to defeat the BJP
in Haryana?
in
It
Delhi?
was the Congress who
The
decided not to. In Delhi, it is the AAP who decided not to. So I think all of them are fighting for survival. That said, the opposition coming together as one India bloc has probably worked for the Lok Sabha elections, but post which it's worth being disbanded, as proposed by Omar Abdullah as well. He says if there's no use of the India Alliance anymore, if there's no more associations, might as well disband it, at least announce it. But yeah, I think that discussion they've not breached into yet.
But I think it would be foolish also to imagine that what worked for Lok Sabha,
it will continue.
It will continue in Lok Sabha, because if in Vidhan Sabhas, because in Haryana, in Delhi, Aam Aadmi Party are India Alliance partners are more at loggerhead than the principal opposition or the ruling dispensation, which is the BJP. In Uttar Pradesh, Akhilesh Yadav is the dominant party. So how can you expect him to play a second fiddle to Congress, which is barely scratching at the bottom?
Correct.
So is the case in Bihar and in various other important states. Where Congress is not number 2, they are poor number 3. So, that lot of political reality and realignment kicks in when you look at the state-specific politics.
Okay, Mr. Prasad, we have spoken about middle class, we have spoken about the Jhuggi Jhopri cluster, but the shift that took place after 2013 was that Congress even lost the minority vote in Delhi. Going by the data that is coming in, do you think that this data also reflects substantial split in the Muslim vote in Delhi?
Well, that is just an assumption as of point of time. We have to go by that assumption. But look at this way. I mean, for all the talk that we've been talking for ages, the tactical voting, it doesn't really happen that way on the ground. I mean, you've seen elections after election, but principally, if you look at it, the minorities in Delhi may have a grudge, may have an issue with the Aam Aadmi Party in certain pockets, but they would also have to really, they know what the answer, I mean, is AAP, if they want to vote for AAP, are they going for the BJP? That's the only alternative. Going to Congress certainly will not help, except it was a vote of anger. You don't want to give it to BJP, so either you sit at home or vote for Congress, just, you're on the rebound. I don't think it works that way all the time, but there is no consolidation, there's no en bloc voting, which we always fancy, we'll talk about. But yes, if these numbers are there, there is a certain cleavage that has, or the kind of whatever the break that seemed to have manifested and helped one party and damaged the other party.
If you, I don't know whether you had the time to go through it. A lot of outsiders were fielded, Nabila, by both Aam Aadmi Party and Bharatiya Janata Party. They were given tickets. Ajit, how do you think that this will pan out in Delhi elections? Because the criticism in the Lok Sabha was a lot of outsiders got ticket, and even the party insiders said that this really didn't work for them. So even this time they have done it. Anyone can come into this discussion. How will this impact, or how has that impacted in context of the polls?
See, I think the larger point is that Delhi is very different from the rest of the country because Delhi is largely heavily middle class, which is not true in the rest of the country, right?
So it doesn't make a difference?
It does make a difference because that's I think he was pointing out in the past that middle class position at one time Congress occupied it, which is the median voter position. Congress shifted, the BJP took that place.
Middle class, sir, or middle ground?
Both. In Delhi's case, the middle class. In the rest of the country, the middle ground. Because in Delhi, you have the poor and you have the middle class. Delhi has a disproportionately high middle class compared to Goa and Delhi, compared to, let's say, Patna or some other city, right? Because it's a prosperous city compared to most. The per capita income is highest in the country. So there, I think, the BJP, you saw in this election, the BJP did not communalize seriously like it did in previous elections. You saw what they were doing. They were targeting on the development programs, saying we'll replicate it, and going on that corruption image and dirty water. These are the issues, and the budget came right in time. These are the issues that bring the middle class back to the BJP.
But there was a lot of talk about Rohingyas and infiltration and all of that. I'm not saying that's communal, but the firing, the communal angle was that angle.
Only those constituencies.
CAA happened. Delhi riots happened already in 22.
that was only in those constituencies of North and Northeast and Northwest Delhi, where you have a primarily
I think the point you're trying to make is not like Mangal.
You pit that against the other.
Largely, you didn't
I think the point he's trying to make is not like Shamshan and Kabristan or Mangal Sutra. I think that's the point you're trying to make.
That is also because of the education profile of Delhi as a whole, because they know that, if you are selling a product, then you should know your market well.
Yes.
So they also know that these things won't sell in Delhi. So that's also very clear, that which are the issues to be, and that is I think the ability and competence of a good player, that he understands, the audience.
Last time,
just look at this data. Just look at this data. We have created this data. We have created this data. 22 candidates switched parties. This is the data. BJP has given tickets to 9 defectors. That's the second data. AAP has fielded 8 defectors. Then Congress has given tickets to 5 defectors. These are the correct numbers. And 14 defectors tested their luck. This is 2020. 7 out of 14 won their seats. 7 out of 14. 6 of the 7 defectors who joined AAP won. And no defectors won from Bharatiya Janata Party in Congress.
But that was 2020.
But I'm saying that they tested their market in 2020, because the CAA, NRC and everything was going for them. They tried to make it polarized, and I still remember, how when Arvind Kejriwal and Manish Sisodia were hopping from one conclave of channel to another conclave, and they were strictly advised, and Manish Sisodia was removed from speaking to media once he made some sort of sympathetic remark to CAA, and he was completely removed from the spokesperson position, or authorized to talk to the to the media. This time they realized that is not selling in the state of Delhi, and that is the reason why they steered clear of it without the usual rudimentary mentioning of Rohingyas and all. But they stuck to what they should have done in 2020, which is trying to expose and hit out at the
which agitated Ajit so much in the discussion.
This is just to make sure that news channels
the communal aspects of it happens in neighboring states of Uttar Pradesh, and then there's Haryana, then we saw what happened in Maharashtra. So that said, there will be a bearing on Delhi also. It's not as if
compare Delhi's assembly campaign to any other campaign in the past. Compare Delhi's assembly election this time to the previous assembly elections in Delhi and other states. You saw a shift completely in the BJP
but the narrative is also set.
It was more development oriented,
you have surveys,
more corruption issue and environment.
I think
but you have surveys of temples that are still happening. All that simultaneously happening. The narrative is simultaneous.
But please remember that at the end of the day, in the entire opposition, Arvind Kejriwal is the only person who will also say Jai Shri Ram, who will also support the government's the attack on Balakot. You see, he has always been taking
all the slogans.
Spoke
about NA and NCA.
Yes, and he's the one who gave 2500 rupiah for all that.
I think the Bharat Mata ki Jai, these slogans resonate
calling
in all
himself, Jai Shri Ram, Ramji aapki kripa karenge.
I think the biggest difference
Hanuman Pujari.
He's the one who started 2500 rupees
I think the
for
biggest
pujaris,
difference
Hindu
is
pujaris.
there is no Shaheen Bagh politics right now.
Sorry?
Shaheen Bagh politics.
Yeah.
That was something
he steered clear of it. The entire Shaheen Bagh protest, they not only steered clear of it, Manish Sisodia was pulled out. I mean, he was one of the star, orator after Arvind Kejriwal. He was pulled out, I remember, because, we were waiting for Manish Sisodia. The second Manish Sisodia got down from this, his guy came running and said, like, Arvind Kejriwal. After that, till the results came out, Manish Sisodia did not spoke to a single channel or gave a single soundbite, because he made he made a comment in the previous channel where he went there, and he made a comment which was slightly sympathetic to the Shaheen Bagh and this thing. And if I may just take 30 seconds, there was also an interview. I'm not going to take the name of the channel and the anchor. The anchor kept on trying to box Arvind Kejriwal in a corner, say what do you have to say about CAA, what do you have to say about NRC. Arvind Kejriwal replied saying, I'm a Hanuman Bhakt. I only pray to Hanuman, only on Tuesdays and Saturdays. The anchor got so frustrated that he said, can you say Hanuman Chalisa? Arvind Kejriwal laughed it up. He was waiting for that, and Jai Hanuman Gyan Gun Sagar. So he is very, very nimble-footed,
yes,
and
absolutely.
very,
so
he
if
follows
these numbers are right,
if these
numbers are right,
yes.
What you asked, Karthike, it's possible that the minority votes split. It might have gone to Congress, It might have gone to a bit to OAC. It might have gone to BSP,
that's something which we have not
never
discussed.
considered.
That's something which we have not discussed.
I highly doubt that OAC will
And
have
even
any
a
share of the
2%,
pie.
But
Will
OIC
have any share of the pie.
OIC did spring a surprise in Maharashtra.
Perceived to.
And
He's
Bihar.
perceived to.
the reason why
Massively in
He's
Bihar.
perceived
Bihar,
to, but
Maharashtra.
he
He was
failed.
a flop-
After
he was
Bihar,
a
he
flop actor in
failed.
West
Exactly,
Possibly.
exactly.
But
West
I'm
Bengal
saying-
yet to run away
I'm
because
saying
they are-
21 tight constituencies with 5,000
Well,
vote difference. Anything can happen.
You never
Just
said
a 2,000
you
vote
never
switch
you never
can
said
turn the tables.
You never
That's
said
all
die
I'm
in
saying.
But
politics.
let me
Time
tell
for a
you,
short
for
break.
minorities, I think they've learned a bitter lesson and they know where not to divide votes and how to
Absolutely.
stay united.
That's why I said if the numbers
they've
are
done
right.
it.
And in Bihar, they
This
knew-
Lok Sabha, the minorities voted overwhelmingly for the Congress.
They
But in
support
Bihar-
whosoever is able to defeat the BJP. That is there.
Exactly.
Please bear with me. It's
Yeah.
time for a short break. We'll be back. Time for a short break.
Mama must be missing us, na?
Let's take it one day, give me one day. Feel the itch under my skin, it's a fun day. You been laughing when you see we are done, hey. It doesn't matter, just gotta catch the highway.
New GT line, Taigun and Virtus. Volkswagen.
इस खेल में अब खेला होगा, हर नहले पे दहला होगा। टीम बड़ा है, स्टेज बड़ा है, पूरा भारत साथ खड़ा है। We are the Tigers. साथ खड़ा है। We are the Tigers. गेम बड़ा है, dribble like a rap, pass, 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 setting up the trap, kick it hard in the booth, chuck, there for the ball. We are the Tigers. Chuck it there for the ball. We are the Tigers. Chuck it there for the ball. We are the Tigers. Chuck it there for the ball. We are the Tigers. Chuck it there for the ball. Chuck it there for the ball.
Your promise is IGI certified. Your ambition is IGI certified. 14-step grading process. 50 years of trust. IGI Trust Certified.
It's not the fiefdom of politicians. They owe it to the people. Matter is now more about faith of the millions of devotees than just political slugfest. Does that mean that I can't get a job in Chennai, although I may be best suited for that particular job? They have more civic sense, they have more of civility than all these men. My name is Sudha Sadanand. Welcome to the South Indian.
One look and I'm falling
For you like crazy. Ah, boom, boom. Every heartbeat is only for you. Every breath, every moment with you.
Shall we do it again?
My heart goes boom.
Unlimited Love. Bookings open on 14th February.
आपदा वालों को भगाना है। इस बार भाजपा सरकार बनाना है।
आपदा दिल्ली में नहीं आई, आपदा भाजपा में आई है।
जो बेईमान होता है वही अपने आप को सर्टिफिकेट देता है।
Welcome back, and we are in middle of our show of poll of polls. Look at the poll of polls. We have given you Matrice, JVC, PMark, People's Pulse, We Preside, poll of polls, and it's pretty clear that Bharatiya Janata Party is in the position of advantage. Aam Aadmi Party has not done as expected. I don't think they're going in for a fourth term if the poll of polls is to be believed. It means that the BJP is ending its vanvas of 27 years. They are making a comeback. The micro data would be available later, but I think the broad data shows that yes, things can change. This is based on the exit polls. I'm joined by Babbi Badal, spokesperson Aam Aadmi Party, Neoma Gupta, spokesperson BJP, Xavier Rodriguez, KG Suresh, Ajit K. Jha, KV Prasad and Brijesh Pandey. Let me straight away go to Neoma. I know we are coming to the end of our show. Do you think any late surprises might surprise you?
No, because we are winning and we are going to get a clean sweep, and I've mentioned to you why. And so yeah, there are no surprises. It's preordained. I don't like sounding overconfident because it's not a virtue I like to possess. But scientifically, just see the whole process. There's a government who's failed giving you everything. Your infrastructure is collapsing. Your lungs are collapsing. So why would anybody want such a government to come back? And the problem is they defend themselves by lies and deceit constantly, and that's something which lingers on. So I strongly believe in this. It's a little off topic that post-COVID karma catches up with you in the same janam. So all the wrongs that you do, you face the consequences of it. All this, like ma'am had mentioned about the schemes earlier. I mean, you promised the ladies of Punjab to give them, I think, 1,100 rupees. You've not even done that. And then you have the courage to come to another state during election time, during campaign time, and say, we'll give you 2,100. Why didn't you give it in Punjab? So obviously, there's a thing called track record and report card in which all Fs, capital Fs are in every domain. Water, road, the potholes, the air, the Yamuna, the sewage, and most important, which they constantly have been harping upon. Recently I had a debate on your forum only when we were speaking about the level of sewage, which has not been churned. Like dust not being cleaned off the roads. We are staying in the capital of this country and you don't have the basic care to take care of it. And then in your manifesto, you keep saying that I will do everything, but you don't do anything. And then you come with an apologetic face. You can do that if you're in grade 5, but if you're the CM, and you've made a commitment, you have to learn to honor it and work around making sure that it happens. So today, what we are seeing, which is a bit of the window to what we are going to see on the 8th, it's a beautiful picture.
Abhi, your comments.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Let me put my last comment. I would like to clear 3 things. One is, the BJP spokespersons never talk about law and order in Delhi, which is under Amit Shah ji. So they discuss everything under the sun, but they don't discuss law and order, which has been a great failure, by the way. So let me tell you one thing, the Sheesh Mahal controversy. Now, our leaders said, let us go and see the CM's house and let us also go and see the Prime Minister's house. So we went with cameras, Mr. Sanjay Singh ji went, but the Delhi police never allowed us entry. And let me tell you that the BJP, lot of big leaders campaigned, but not even one of them said that if we form the government, our CM will not stay in the Sheesh Mahal. Did anybody say that?
Oh, so you are admitting it's the Sheesh Mahal. So you've admitted there's a Sheesh Mahal. You're the only spokesperson who's done that. So far, whenever we bring up the topic of Sheesh Mahal, sir, they deflect the topic. So you have
the Prime Minister's house?
fully admitted that there is a Sheesh
Mahal. And what is Mr. Modi's house? What is that Mahal? Which Mahal is that? And what about his aircraft? 1,600 crores. So what do we call that? So,
sir, I would like you to tell you one thing. First of all, it's commendable on your part that you've admitted that there's a Sheesh Mahal. When it comes to the Prime Minister's residence expansion, kindly go to the Centre Vista website, get all the details on it. It's dissected what type of expansion is happening where. And mind you, the expansion is happening for safety protocols for any Prime Minister who will be staying there. Number 1. Number 2, everything. I'm not done. Everything is
the only one in the country.
So you're the only one who's admitted to Sheesh Mahal. I have full respect for you as a spokesperson.
The argument will continue. It's unending. The BJP has promised if at all they come to power, they're going to allow the public to enter the Sheesh Mahal and have a close look at the plush expenses on that CM's house. Though AAP insisted that they be allowed inside to show the media that all the claims are false. But let's see, whoever comes to power, we'll know then. But for now, the kind of allegations that are back and forth, Brijesh, you might want to shed some light on the voter rigging. Both parties have alleged. AAP has accused BJP of bringing in voters from the outside to fill up their voters list, and maybe paying money to some of them to influence votes in their direction. Same goes with the BJP accusing AAP of doing the same.
Well, I think, the one aspect in which the entire India Alliance is completely united is this issue only, where they're saying, right from Akhilesh Yadav to Rahul Gandhi, when he said this in Parliament, that 70 lakh new voters have been added to the existing list of the Election Commission, which is what made the difference per se. So this is an allegation which has been made by the opposition parties in election after election. They have also made several representations to the Election Commission, but since Election Commission of India is the final arbiter on this particular issue, they have denied any such doing, and they have said that whatever numbers have increased or not, it has been done due to following a proper procedure. There's always addition and deletion depending on people, shifting from one state to another. Say, for example, someone living in Delhi shifting to Noida or any other part of NCR. So they are saying there's nothing wrong, but all the opposition party, they are saying that the reason why these kind of miraculous loss which happened in Maharashtra, which happened in Haryana, and which is many the Aam Aadmi Party saying in Delhi, they are saying is happening only because there is an unauthorized addition which is proving to be decisive in a miraculous victory for the Bharatiya Janata Party.
Miraculous victory for the Bharatiya Janata Party. I hope it remains the same. Ajit, what is your understanding now? We are closing the show. What is the big picture you are drawing in terms of voting pattern?
See, as I mentioned it twice in the past, that the voters have voted for change. Arvind Kejriwal has been in power for 10 years. The BJP has been away from power for last 27, 28 years. So the idea is, obviously Congress doesn't matter, although the Congress is also out of power from 2013. So for the voter, let's give the anti-incumbent party a chance. That I think has worked. And why? Because, Arvind Kejriwal's unique thing was what we were talking about earlier, the poor voters and the welfare measures. The BJP ended up equating that, and for the middle class, the BJP banged up on the issue of corruption. Now, even if there is no evidence, Arvind Kejriwal was inside jail, the entire senior leadership was inside jail. After all, the liquor thing, the AAP withdrew from it. So that means they were guilty. Now, we might not have evidence, but money was spent, something like, 200 crores?
You think that casted the seed of doubt?
Absolutely. For a man who came to power on anti-corruption drive. After all, you went to the people and you talked about
Suresh, do you agree with Ajit that, this going back decision was very problematic for AAP on the liquor issue?
Yes, absolutely. They found themselves on the back foot. So, you see, Mr. Badal was saying that, why not the Prime Minister, why not, he was equating. But the fact is that the Prime Minister never said that I don't need security. I will travel by metro. I will never live in a spacious bungalow. This has never been uttered by the Prime Minister. So, people judge you by what you had, the commitments that you made. But then you went against it. But having said that, I would say that when we came into the studio, the perception was advantage Aam Aadmi Party.
Yeah.
When we are leaving the studio, the perception is advantage BJP, and I believe that the picture abhi baki hai.
Picture abhi bani nahi, picture mein do log bhi abhi baki hain. Savio Rodriguez bhi baki hain. Mera Prasad bhi baki hai. Savio, to you first, and then to Mr. KV Prasad. Savio.
Well, I think the Delhi elections are very exciting elections, and I think the people are going to give a majority to the party that they want to work with as far as Delhi is concerned. I believe that the Aam Aadmi Party is definitely going down in its seats and its vote share. I believe the BJP is going to go up in its seats and vote share. I also believe that the most important thing that the people of Delhi are looking at, because it's aspirational in its nature, is that they want Delhi to see a socio-economic progress. They do want to see infrastructure development. They do want to see better jobs for their people. They do not want to be indulged in petty, childlike, whining politics, and that is what they're going to end. More importantly, is that they are absolutely not worried about corruption. What they are certainly looking at is for them to see how they can progress socially and economically. So corruption is not really an issue in Delhi. It is a great talking point, but it's not a point where they come out to vote.
Okay, Mr. Prasad.
Well, Karthika, I'll just add two aspects to it. Corruption and development have been used in Indian politics and have thrown up different results at different times. If development was the plan, Sheila Dixit should not have lost 2013 because everybody talks about the kind of development Delhi seen during the 15 years. If corruption was an issue, where we've seen Tamil Nadu, lots of governments had been accused of much serious charges of corruption, but they got voted back to power. So these things work differently at different times. We can't say one size fits all. We cannot say one issue always swings the voters. Of course, corruption was an issue which swung the vote for Aam Aadmi Party 2013 and 2015. But the BJP very, very methodically and strategically hit at what would be the most solid base. Whether this is going to tilt the scales, that's something which the voter will say. As my friend Suresh says, picture abhi baki hai.
Picture abhi baki hai. Now, what's Nabila's take?
Well, from what I see here in the numbers that we have on our screens, most of the polls give BJP a clean sweep. And that said, even if these numbers are not true, what I can say for certain that the BJP's aggregate has risen exponentially, which means they've made inroads and huge headway into the state of Delhi. After 27 years, gives huge impetus, and the momentum that they saw with Haryana win, Maharashtra win, seems like it's now coming into Delhi as well. So, congrats to BJP if these numbers are true. That said, I'd still say the Delhi voters are discerning. They will put their buck for where value is. So, well, let's see.
That's Nabila's take, huh? That's Nabila's take.
8th of Feb on Saturday, Karthikeya and I are going to be right here with Brijesh and our guests to give you that lowdown.
Yeah, I think from 2002-04, which is Lok Sabha elections, some polls have stuck right and gold, and some polls went awry completely. And that was a sober movement for statisticians and psephologists also, that the Indian politics and our voters can get better of the technique and the data and the sort of the work they do. But the Delhi is important not only because of its capital. Delhi is important because there's a tectonic shift that took place, and I personally believe in it. That for the first, and I'm a Delhiite, not a Delhi boy, but someone brought up in Delhi, that for the first time when the Prime Minister said, Mahalakshmi se main bolta hu ki middle class ko kare, for the first time middle class as a political constituency acknowledged by Prime Minister, it means that it has emerged as a voting class also. Or else this language would not have been deployed, and politicians are very savvy. They understand which class has emerged, like women, a class that emerged when bicycles were given by now the serving Chief Minister Nitish Kumar. People said, will it work? It worked for the women of Bihar, it worked for Nitish Kumar's party. So women as a class has emerged out of Bihar. Now it's a national class, and we have seen Latki Behna, Maiya Samman Yojana, Ladli Behan of Madhya Pradesh. Similarly, when he spoke about middle class, I think this tectonic shift has taken place, and if BJP comes to power, I think the middle class will be part of political lingo of most of the political parties, which they thought that it's a class you can talk about, but it's a class which is not effective and important when it comes to the brass tacks of elections. So this was Poll of Polls. Thank you for joining us, and don't go away, because on the other side of the break, we have our special show on what Trump intends to do in Gaza.
आपदा वालों को भगाना है, इस बार भाजपा सरकार बनाना है।
आपदा दिल्ली में नहीं आई, आपदा भाजपा में आई। जो बेईमान होता है वही अपने आप को सर्टिफिकेट देता है।
And I'm falling for you like crazy, crazy. Oh, boom, boom. Every heartbeat is only for you. Every breath, every moment with you.
one limit left. Bookings open on 14th February.
It's not the fiefdom of politicians. They owe it to the people. Matter is now more about faith of the millions of devotees than just political slugfest. Does that mean that I can't get a job in Chennai, although I may be best suited for that particular job? They have more civic sense, they have more of civility than all these men. My name is Sudha Sadanand. Welcome to the South Indian.
If it's a cancer, then what?
It's very distressing.
Anyone can have cancer.
Mentality है कि ये बीमारी मुझे नहीं हो सकती.
There's a thing called cancer is right inside me.
सबसे पहले जो होता है ना, डर जो होता है कि now it's the end of the world.
My life went upside down.
Stigma associated with it, which is very scary.
In our country, more than 14 lakh people get diagnosed with cancer every year. Out of that, more than 9 lakhs die every year because of cancer.